I came across a story that really made me think about family, sacrifice, boundaries, and the importance of having honest conversations before making major decisions. A woman living in the UK has 3 children, all under the age of 5. She and her husband are raising the children without much family support. Sadly, her own mother and mother-in-law are no longer alive, so they don't really have a village to help them. Because she needed help with the children and was preparing to return to work after maternity leave, she decided to bring her husband's elder sister from Nigeria to the UK. This wasn't the first time the sister-in-law had come to the UK to help. According to her, they had paid her every month, taken care of her while she stayed with them, and even bought her many things when she returned to Nigeria. The sister-in-law had been asking to come back to the UK for some time. The woman told her, "I'm currently on maternity leave. When I'm ready to resume work, I'll apply for you." Eventually, she started the visa application. The application was already in progress, and she genuinely believed everything was settled. But then, the sister-in-law called and said they needed to agree on some conditions before she would come to the UK if her visa was approved. First, she wanted to be paid the same rate as a childminder. Then, she explained that 2 of her grandchildren were living with her in Nigeria, and she wanted the couple to also pay their school fees and feeding expenses because she normally takes care of those expenses herself. She also had a list of things she expected the couple to buy for her when she returned to Nigeria. Her position was basically, if you're comfortable with all of this, I'll come. If not, I'll stay in Nigeria. Now the woman is torn. She understands that her sister-in-law has every right to decide what she is willing to do and what she wants to be paid. But what is bothering her is that none of these conditions were mentioned before the application was started. Now the application is already in progress. And the truth is, she really needs the help because she has to return to work. Even her husband is reportedly shocked by some of the demands. So she is asking herself, should we continue with this arrangement because we desperately need the help, or should we reconsider before things become even more complicated? And honestly, this story teaches us something important. Help should not be confused with obligation. At the same time, need should not be used to take advantage of someone. The Bible teaches us to be wise in our dealings with one another. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed." Sometimes the problem isn't that someone asked for too much or that someone offered too little. Sometimes the real problem is that expectations were never clearly discussed from the beginning. Before bringing family into a business arrangement, employment arrangement, or even a caregiving arrangement, it is important to sit down and discuss everything clearly. What is the salary? What are the responsibilities? How many hours will they work? What expenses will be covered? What will not be covered? How long will the arrangement last? And what happens if either person changes their mind? Clear conversations can prevent resentment later. And as Christians, we should also remember that peace is valuable, but peace does not mean ignoring boundaries. You can love your family and still have boundaries. You can appreciate someone's help and still say no to an arrangement you cannot afford. You can also ask for fair compensation for your own time and work without being wrong. The goal should be to handle the situation with honesty, wisdom, fairness, and love. So now I want to hear from you. If you were in this woman's position, what would you do? Would you continue with the arrangement because you desperately need the help? Would you negotiate the conditions? Or would you stop the process and look for another solution? And from the sister-in-law's perspective, do you think her demands are unreasonable, or does she have the right to set her own conditions before coming? Let's discuss this respectfully in the comments. What would you do? And remember, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. May God give us wisdom to know when to help when to set boundaries, when to negotiate, and when to walk away peacefully.